Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And here we are on this Friday, the day after Christmas, and a number of you have said to me, Dominic, we never hear from your wife. Well, that changes right here and right now. In just minutes, we will be chatting with my wife, Marilyn. She will be joining me live on the air to talk about something deeply personal to our family and was challenging to our 40-year marriage, and that is raising a special needs child, navigating epilepsy and a learning disability. She's never talked about it publicly. I rarely talk about it, but this is a conversation today about faith, resilience, love, and hope for every parent walking this road with special needs children. You are not alone. But first, let's talk about being on such a successful run. The movie Marty Supreme with our station owner, John Catsimatidis, on the big screen is taking America by storm. And just today, as you know by now, on the morning show, filling in for Sid Rosenberg, Mr. Catsimatidis received a surprise call from none other than the President of the United States. And the President says the recent bombing in Nigeria, the U.S. bombing, was a Christmas gift to ISIS.
1 second. I got President Trump on the phone.
Hold on.
Mr. President?
I had to save that attack for Christmas Day. Do you agree?
I agree. I am in the studio right now broadcasting to 1 million people.
Oh, wow.
Would you like to say hello to them?
That's great. Yes, I will, but I have to go quick because I have China.
We'll do it right now. You got China on the other line. President Trump is on the line. Mr. President, say hello to 1 million people for WABC.
Millions and millions knowing how successful your show is. They all love listening to John and his great wisdom. That's good.
And
That's good.
President Trump, like I said to you, to save those Christian lives in Africa, because there's so many Christians losing their lives, and you did a great job.
Tens of thousands of Christians, and I told Nigeria and I told the people around Nigeria that if you do it, you're going to get hit. And I said yesterday, hit them on Christmas Day. It'll be a Christmas present. We hit ISIS, who are terrible. They're butchers. And we really hit them hard in different locations, and they really got hit hard yesterday. So they got a very bad Christmas present.
And I've told people that Maduro, Venezuela, if Venezuela is going to provide a lot more oil to the United States of America if Maduro leaves.
Well, it's about a lot of things. It's about that. It's about, they took our oil. They took it. And they also sent millions of people in there from jails into our country, from jails. Some of the worst people on earth, Tren de Aragua. They emptied their jails into the United States. As you know, they send drugs in. And I don't know if you know, John, but drug traffic is down by sea now, 97.2%. Wow.
Nobody understands, Mr. President, that why the Democrats are objecting to knocking out those boats that are carrying drugs that are going to kill our people.
Well, they're only objecting because I'm the one doing it. If it were anybody else, even another Republican, let's say you take a weak Republican, they would say, that's all right. But because they have Trump derangement syndrome, they're sick people. There's something wrong with them. But every time I knock out a boat, we save 25,000 American lives. It's very simple. And what's happening is they're having a hard time employment-wise. They can't get anybody. And we just knocked out, I don't know if you read or you saw, they have a big plant or a big facility where they send where the ships come from. 2 nights ago, we knocked that out. So we hit them very hard. But drugs are down over 97%. Can you believe it?
That is, I mean, you have done a miracle for all Americans. I mean, you're bringing down, you brought down the price of gasoline tremendously. You brought down, interest rates. I mean,
gasoline's down much more than they even say, because in California, they just, if it goes down, they just take more tax. They raise the tax. If it goes down 5 cents, they raise the tax 5%. We're down to $2 in many states. We're under $2 a gallon in many states. It's like a really big tax cut of what we've done with gasoline. And gasoline and energy generally is way down. And also with energy, as you know, because it's such a big, and you're very successful at energy. If you are so big at it and you're so knowledgeable, when you get energy down, everything comes down. It's just, there is no second factor that's even close.
And
when you bring down the cost of energy, everything comes down. All prices are coming down after 4 years of Biden.
And it's another way of breaking President Putin, because if the price of oil is coming down to the low 50s and he's still selling it at a discount, Russia's going to go broke.
Well, it doesn't help him, that I can tell you.
Yes.
It's not exactly helpful. I think we're making some progress on that front. We ended 8 wars, and I have 1 more to go. And that one I thought would have been an easy one because I do get along well with them, but has not turned out to be the easiest. Has turned out to be the toughest. We ended 8, including India and Pakistan, and we were really going at it. That was going to be, the Prime Minister of Pakistan said President Trump saved 10 million lives, at least. So I think we did. But I'm going to get the other one. I think we're going to get some good news on the other one.
We just got some breaking news that you're having Zelensky at Mar-a-Lago on Sunday. And I said, I mean, you work 7 days a week. I mean, you, including Christmas.
I work about the same hours as you do, which is all the time.
So there you have it, folks. I don't know many people at all that could handle a live call from the President of the United States of America and do as great a job as Mr. Catsimatidis did with that interview. Job well done. And they both work harder than anybody else I know. So now I'm moving on, and a number of you folks have said, Dominic, we never hear from your wife. We never hear from your wife. Well, she's here now. Marilyn Carter, hon, how are you this afternoon, this evening?
Hello, everyone, and I'm doing quite well today.
Okay, all right. So I want to talk to you about something that's been very personal and challenging to us, and neither of us really talk about it. And that's having a special needs child and our son and Dominic. And you recently wrote a kid's book, right, about this, which I thought was very good for you to get your feelings out. And it's titled A Star Among Stars, How Dominic Learned That Being Different Makes You Special. So, one, the reason why people haven't heard from you is and I want you to describe this yourself, you're more reserved than I am. I would say you're shy. You're nodding your head so the audience they don't know what you're saying. Yes, that's true. So you're very well educated, but shy, reserved, and you don't like the public forum.
Correct.
And just the opposite of your husband.
Definitely.
Okay, so talk to me about special needs kids and what a challenge this has been for us with our son.
Well, I don't think any parent expects to get word that your child has some form of a medical condition. I guess, looking back, Dominic was about 18 months old and we were on a stay vacation. We traveled often to Rockland County and got a hotel room and let the kids play in the pool, etc. But as you know, Dominic is a foodie. So the first thing that we did, we headed to the mall and we got some food. My little one, Courtney, at the time needed to use the restroom. So I explicitly said to Big Dom, do not let little Dom put a handful of French fries in his mouth, because I know Dominic loves French fries and so does his children. The next thing I knew, there was a lady in the restroom saying, "Is there Marilyn Carter in here?" And I'm like, "Tell him I'm in the bathroom with his daughter." She goes, "No, something's wrong." So I immediately ran out with Courtney in hand. And by the time I got there, Dominic and the little Dominic were already in the ambulance going. So I'm like in a location I know nothing about.
At the Woodbury Commons Mall.
I have the car. I don't even know where the car is. I'm just a mess. So I get in the car. I'm doing like 80 miles an hour, and I get pulled over by a state trooper. I tried to explain to him what was happening, and he says, "Okay, miss, just follow me." He put his lights on, and thank goodness for him. If you're out there, I'm still talking about you all these years later. And he let me into the hospital. We said we waited. Tests were done. They couldn't find anything, and it was like, check with your pediatrician when you get back. I'm like, okay. So we exhaled a little bit. No sooner than a couple of days after that, I got up to get ready for work, and I kept hearing this heavy breathing. I'm like, what is that? So I looked in the crib, and I'm looking at my son. He's staring at me. He's breathing hard, and I scream. And from that moment on, life was very interesting. It was an emotional roller coaster. And these are things that many families are faced with. And so this is just my journey that I decided to put my feelings on, in a book, because I'm very, I don't share a lot, I feel, but I don't often share many things with family and friends. So this was an opportunity to talk about the things that the family went through, and Dominic, and this doesn't end as they are children, but you face other issues as they become young adults and into adulthood. So a number of people want to speak to you, and we're gonna let them do exactly that. 800-848-9222. So Marilyn just touched the surface. Our son was a toddler when this happened. She's in the ladies' room with our daughter, and I'm feeding him a French fry, and all of a sudden his face just froze on the fry. The paramedics were called. The people with the Woodbury Commons Mall, up not far from where we live in Rockland. The paramedics got there immediately, grabbed him as a baby, and rushed him to the nearest hospital, which was further up. And so I see Gracie wants to talk to you. Gracie, I'm going to save you for a second. Let's go to Nancy in New Jersey on special needs kids. Nancy, what's on your mind on this Friday?
Hi, Dominic, and your wife, short-term memory loss. I forgot her name.
Marilyn, it's okay.
Marilyn, thank you for sharing about this. I have a special needs son who's an adult right now, but I get I'm only now coming to terms with the fact that I have raised a special needs kid. He's on the autism spectrum, and it's only now I realize what an impact it had, because you just go through it. You do what you have to do, the IEPs, the early intervention, the follow-up, and as you said, as adults, it doesn't change much, just new, different things at different stages. And it's very hurtful right now toward, in my mid-60s.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The hard part, like holidays, he doesn't know the protocols and things, and oh my goodness, so many things we went through. 450 pounds, he isolated himself from the world.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. There's also a social component to this. Is what you're actually saying is that it's one thing to have an answer and try to treat what the medical issue is, but there are other things that come out of that. And one of the issues, as you've indicated, is socialization. Dominic still has a hard time. He's a wonderful young man, but he still has a hard time understanding the social cues that are out there. So I do understand what you're saying. So let me do this, Marilyn. And Nancy, thank you for the call. Lots of people want to talk to you or ask questions, Marilyn, people with special needs kids. So we've got to take a break. We're going to do exactly that. When we come back, my wife will continue telling our story, because what has happened is, I'm lights, camera, action. I'm out there
there in the public, while my wife, who recently retired a few years ago from Manhattan College, she was an administrator at Manhattan College, where Rudy Giuliani went to school. She had to tackle that job and deal with our son and deal with our daughter and deal with all these medications for our son and on and on and on. It is time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And coming up in just minutes, we will get back to the major part of my son's story. But right now, we see all your telephone calls. My wife, Marilyn's here live. She's taking them. Let's go to Gracie in Rockland County, line 3. Gracie, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind, Dominique? Marilyn, don't be jealous. I love your husband, but like a son. So don't be jealous. I'm 78. He could be my boy.
I'm not Gracie. It's perfectly fine.
Good. I know he's a good boy. If not, I'll come break his kneecaps like I said to my son. Don't embarrass me. Okay, but serious things. God bless you both. It's not easy. My younger son is a little bit on the spectrum, and he suffers from anxiety. It runs in the family. My grandpa, Dominic, I know we can't remind mother. Me, I'm as strong as a horse, thank God. So when you do have a child like that, you do worry. My older boy promised me he'll always take care of him and watch him. You know what I mean? But make sure your money is in order. Get a trust. You need a trust that the government can't take it, and he'll have money to be taken care of. That's the main advice I give you.
Well, thank you very much. We've been discussing that on and on, like most people do when it comes to finances and, trying to figure out what to do if something happens to us. It's something that we have to get very serious about. Like I indicated, we talk about it, then we move on to the next subject. But it's something for the new year coming that I'm going to make sure that we definitely do that.
Gracie, thank you for the amazing advice. So you were able to get your child to adulthood, correct, into a successful life?
Yeah. He's not working now. He's 47. People say, why isn't he working? Because he doesn't seem so bad. But it's easier for me when he's not. It's easier. Less anxiety for me, too, and for him. So he's happy.
Well, Gracie, thank you for the wonderful call, and we're glad that things worked out. I'm looking at my Twitter at my ex, the lovely DMS, says, Dominic, what a gift to us of making Marilyn real, giving her voice a platform. She's so poised and articulate on a medium that isn't anything she's used to. I'm crying. We don't want you to cry. Folks, I'm coming back with Marilyn Carter in a moment.
Dominic Carter Show, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And we are back. I'm chatting with my wife, Marilyn Carter, live, and I'm looking at the comments on Twitter. Marilyn, DMS, her comment, she goes on to say that you are a soldier of love, battle wounds and all. And I think that's fair to say for both of us. You've been in the foxhole and on the front line, and your story told in your words will bring so much hope and recognition to so many in your audience. There is nothing so healing as not feeling invisible. So let's see here. Liz says, Marilyn, would love to hear you sing a duet with hubby. No. You sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
You sure you don't want to try this?
No.
Okay. She says, so nice to meet you through the air. Stay strong. We are all with you and your sons. And okay, so thank you for that, Liz, and lots of comments that are very positive. As it relates to you, Marilyn. I want you to tell the truth. Early morning for years in the Carter household, I don't know why, but what did early mornings mean in the shower for our son?
Well, it was making sure that, one, he knew what he needed to do while he was in the shower, but more importantly...
But what would happen early mornings?
Well, he would get up like any other child. And
the seizures I'm talking about.
Okay.
The thumps, the noises.
The noises. So Dominic has what was called petit mild seizures, which means he didn't pass out, in which most people think that's what a seizure is. There are many different types of seizures. His was absent seizures. I would say something to him, hi, Dominic, how are you, whatever. And I wouldn't get a response back. He would just stare at me. His eyes would roll. His eyes would flutter. And so those became the cues for me, knowing that he was getting ready to have a seizure, and I needed a full seizure.
And he would sometimes fall in the shower.
He would fall. He had an incident where he fell in the shower with the water running, and we all came screaming. And the most important thing you can do is to get them out of there and lay them down on their side.
Or the time he fell down the stairs at the house and fell flat on his face and cracked several of his teeth.
Right.
And then the learning disability. We haven't talked about that.
Correct.
Right? I remember through the years, you sitting down with Dominic and just studying and studying and studying and studying while you had to deal with me. And dealing with me is no walk in the park, right? I mean,
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And deal with our daughter and be the mother to all the girls in the neighborhood and chaperone them and so on.
Correct.
Talk about his learning disability.
Well, once Dominic entered school, you are always concerned about what's going to happen throughout the day. And there were plenty of phone calls. There were assessments done. All children have assessments. But when he was assessed that, he had a learning disability. He was not picking up things as fast as the other kids. They did the pictorial testing where the kids have to draw, and he wasn't on age level, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, I had to learn to advocate for Dominic in school, dealing with counselors, dealing with doctors, dealing with specialists. I had to read up on things. I had to talk to other parents. I remember when I used to take him when he was younger down to his doctor's appointments, and I would get off of the elevator at the epilepsy floor, and I would see these kids. Some were wearing helmets, some were in wheelchairs. And I was like, oh my God, is this what I'm into for the rest of my life? But then you know what? I looked at it differently, and I said, you know what? I'm going to take my blessing where I can take my blessing. This kid can get up in the morning, he can walk, he can talk, he's functional, etc. So I learned to try to live in that fashion as opposed to always feeling sorry for myself. Yeah, there were days, and they are still days, as Dominic has grown into adulthood, that I still worry and I go through, why me? Why is this happening? I'm a good person. I've done everything I was supposed to do. I was raised correctly, etc. It happens. And you have to learn to get over it, but more importantly, you have to learn to deal with it. And that's something that we still do every day. And
we were told that he could never graduate from high school.
That is correct.
Because of his learning disability. And again, I remember, I'm coming in from a studio, I'm coming in from being on air, and you guys are studying and doing work and doing work and doing work. And we took that negative that he couldn't graduate from high school.
Correct.
And turned it into a positive. Not only did our son graduate, but he was the homecoming king. The other kids elected him homecoming king.
Yes.
He graduated with a regular diploma. We sometimes you got to go in the dark. And these are things that, and we're going to be discussing this, by the way, coming up January 17th. In Nutley, New Jersey, with the lovely Lisa and John. Thank you for having us. Me, Marilyn, and Dominic will be there, and we're so looking forward to it with the community. I'll be returning to Nutley, and Marilyn will be with me this time, and so will Dominic. But, so we were told that he couldn't make it. We enroll him at Rockland Community College.
Correct.
With your help, we spent a lot of money on
tutors.
On tutors. He graduated, and then there was no program for him. And I said, he's going to get a 4-year degree. And God put it in front of us where they had a program for kids with special needs at SUNY Purchase. And what happened at SUNY Purchase?
Well, he did very well. Actually, he excelled at SUNY Purchase, and not only academically, but he met some friends that he is still in contact with. So education is, of course, the academics, but it's also a place to meet people, to learn from other people, and to try to be the best person that you possibly can be.
Let's go to some of the telephone calls here. I want to go to Sandra in New Jersey, line 3. Sandra, go right ahead.
Oh, thank you, Dominic. Marilyn, I love listening to you. You're just charming and brilliant, and I want you to know that when you have a child that's challenged, that child ends up becoming the most special child in your life. And I'm going to be doing a beautiful book event for Dr. Mark Siegel, and the book is called The Miracles Among Us. And I'm thinking you have a miracle with your son. I saw a picture posted, I guess by Dominic, when your son and your daughter was on a trip recently. I looked at your son and I said, oh my God, he's gorgeous, he's wholesome, he's a hunk. He's like, wow, he looks like Dominic. Really, at first I thought he was Dominic. But let me tell you, look, you're shy. I understand that. I hope maybe when you're ready, you might want to come to the club, the Women's Republican Club, and share your story about your son, and that would be wonderful. I mean, that would be great.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yes. And Dominic, we are attached by the hip, which can be a good thing, but also a bad thing, according to his dad.
Yes, but Sandra, thank you for that. Yes, we're at the stage where I'm like, Mom, you got to pull back. We're not going to be alive forever. He has to function on his own. Sandra, thank you for the wonderful call. Let's go to Angie, line 4. And the reason why I wanted to do this topic, we have a lot of calls with people calling in right now, Marilyn, saying that they either have special needs kids or they work with special needs kids. We're going to get to as many calls as we can. Angie, line 4, Long Island, go right ahead. You're with me and my wife, Marilyn Carter, live.
Hi, it's a pleasure. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Oh, great. I just wanted you to know, I have a son with epilepsy, my youngest, he's 19. When I heard your story about seeing him in the crib, it just gave me goosebumps because when my son had his first seizure,
yes,
I literally fainted because I don't know, I lost my first son to cancer, and he's all I have.
That's correct.
When that happened to him, I literally lost my mind. And it's been 20 years since I slept because I still watch him sleep.
You're not alone.
You never know.
No.
And we found, after the right medication, his neurologist, I went through 3 neurologists to find the right one. And, thank God he's doing better.
Yes.
But, there's so many other things to worry about. And I said, why? Why is this happening to me? I lost my one son. No, but I'll take this. It's okay. I can handle it.
Yes.
But, your kids are your life. And being a special needs teacher, it's a pleasure to hear parents who are actually involved.
You have to, because you're the only one that knows your child better than anyone else. And you'd be saddened to hear how many parents don't show up for these CPS meetings. These CPSC meetings, they don't show up. And that's a shame because, they know their child, hopefully, better than anyone else. But thank goodness there are services out there. There are people out there like you who can advocate for those students and children that are not getting the support that they need at home or from relatives. It doesn't always have to be mommy and daddy. We wish that it would. But, it could be a grandfather, a grandma, anyone that's going to take up their cause. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Angie, for the call. Let's go to Lauren, line 2, Staten Island. Lauren, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic. Hey, Marilyn. Wow, I am so happy that I tuned in today. Marilyn, what a woman you are. Step forward. And I know you'll say you're shy or whatever, but I'm sure you were quite busy. All these years taking care of a child with special needs, autism. I worked in this field for 27 years. I'm from Staten Island. We have a tremendous tremendous amount of the autism population. I worked at PS 37 for 27 years.
Okay.
When I first walked in there, I really because I never experienced anything like that. And I was very taken back, and I was with no disrespect, I thought I was in the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, because I was they're so different, but it's the best thing that I ever did in my life. And you and Dominic are so very lucky that you survived your marriage, because 90% of the parents that I dealt with throughout the years, they did not. It's
Hey, Lauren, I got to be straight with you and be honest with you. It is very challenging on a marriage. Ours came very close, extremely close to not making it. And at the center of it happen to be many of the issues as it relates to around our son. Frustrations that, my wife, when we come back, we're going to talk about NYU. Our son, they do an excellent job. I'm going to let you finish, Lauren, taking care of our son at NYU. He's been down there how many years, Marilyn?
Since he was about 2 years old.
Okay, and so it can be extremely tough on a marriage. Anybody that knows me knows my life is an open book. I'm not a phony. It is what it is. We came mighty close to separating each other, divorcing, with our son at the center of it. But go ahead, Lauren.
No, I agree with that, and I commend you both, because you're very rare commodity, because most people do, because it's the most difficult thing you could do. When I first started working there, my thing was they don't pay us. I was a para. They don't pay us enough money, but in reality, when I look back on my career now, in hindsight, it's you couldn't pay me enough money to do what I did for these kids. And I, each one of them, because they hate change, I had to travel with them for 6 years.
That's
7
correct.
years. And it's the most rewarding thing. It made me a better person. It made me a better person. And these parents, when they come in, they're tired. They're in their pajamas. They're dropping off their kids. And what you said in the shower, their seizure and their, I dealt with the low on the spectrum. They were flapping. I didn't understand anything about them. And you also did say something about looking in their eyes, and you knew. That's what we have to do. And I think it's tremendous that you're stepping forward now. I know you and Dominic want to ride out into the sunset. A lot of these parents make hard decisions about putting them in group homes, and,
never
it's going to be okay. But I just say, but I do say to the parents, regular, if you want to call them regular, normal, they go off to college, if you could find a good place, and they're all good people, but you got to really you
have to do your homework.
You do.
You have to become a researcher in order to find the services that you want, or just learn more about what is happening to your child.
And I think you're going to be a tremendous part of doing that. And I'm glad you stepped forward exactly when you were supposed to step forward. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I hope so anyway.
Yeah,
well, Lauren,
I'm really glad. I'm so happy I tuned into this show today.
And we're happy that you did as well. Let me tell you, Lauren, if it comes down to me being thrown out, or my son going, I'm in deep trouble, because 10 out of 10 times...
there's the door.
There it is. But I'm sure, Dominic, you're a foodie. As long as you have good food to go with, I'm sure you'll be watching from a distance.
I am a foodie. Lauren, thank you for the great call. We got to take a break, folks. We're coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show. Entertaining and informative. On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And the Tunnel to Towers Foundation final thoughts of the day. I'm chatting live with my wife, Marilyn, and Aliza of Brooklyn on my Instagram. Marilyn says, we love you, Marilyn. So,
well, thank you very much. Thanks for having me here.
Well, that's, again, my wife is she's an educator, higher education, spent many years at Manhattan College. She's a very, very private person. She's the exact opposite of me. So before I forget, we're the type of people, I think it's fair to say that Marilyn, it's a kid's book, but it's really for adults as well. Because it goes through, Dominic just wanted to be on the high school football team. He almost made it the last day of tryouts. He had a seizure on the field. They had to rush him to the emergency room. He was heartbroken.
Yes.
For people interested in the book, you can go to DominicCarterOnline.com, DominicCarterOnline.com. I think it's fair to say that you, just like me, you wouldn't have done this unless you had something you really wanted to say that was of value to the public?
Without a doubt, epilepsy can affect anyone at any age. And so it's a book, although it's geared for children, it's something that can happen at any stage of a lifetime. And it just goes through the struggles that we went through, the diagnosis, but there's also light at the end of the tunnel. We also share some of the highlights, the good highlights that Dominic has experienced with the disease. So it's an uplifting book. It's not a downer. It's something that's not going to make you cry, but it's going to make you think, and you're going to remember, and both good and bad memories. And it's something for parents and children and advocates, and even for the medical community to have on hand when young people are first diagnosed.
So where can people reach you? You've lit up all the calls. I can't get to all these calls when we only have 2 minutes left.
So I have a website. It's called aplaceforeverychild.com, or you can find me on Facebook, A Place for Special Needs Children.
One more time.
The website is aplaceforeverychild.com, and on my Facebook, it's called A Place for Special Needs Children.
Okay, so we're going to move through the calls as fast as we can. Rob, line 4, New York. What's on your mind, Rob? Rob, are you there?
Maybe you're looking for Ralph. I don't know if it's...
Okay, it says here Rob. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ralph.
No, but Dominic, real quick, I'm going to tell you... everything you describe, I went through with my daughter. I can't, but I know, everything that, I get very emotional when I talk about her.
I can tell.
And she's 35 years old. And matter of fact,
congratulations.
yesterday was the best Christmas I had in a long time. I got 6 children.
Okay.
But from the wires on her head, I'll tell you, I picked her up in the middle of the night and took her out of White Plains Hospital.
Mm-hmm. We've been through that road as well several times with the wires on the head. But go ahead, Rob.
Yes. And believe me, I really feel for you. And I don't want to, I'm like your wife. I'm very private, but I just want to tell you how much I admire you. I really do.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I think as parents or child care workers or advocates, sometimes we need that. We need that for ourselves so that we can do better by our children. So that is much appreciated. And I say the same thing for you. I hear it in your tone and in your voice.
I admire both of you. Your husband.
Thank you, Rob. Rob, it has not been an easy road. Again, I'm positive all the time, but this is the one area that would break me down, my son, into a little baby where I would cry, why me? Let's go to line 5, Steve in the Bronx. What's on your mind, Steve? We got to move a little faster, folks. We're almost done. We have 40 seconds left in the show.
First of all, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's, guys. And I think it's great that you open up and you talk about this. And
Steve, thank you. You got to get to the point. We're running out of time.
I just to the point, I was wondering if you think that because of the similar situation, if vaccines played a part in this role. It did with my son. And I know that's
How do you know the vaccines played a role? How do you know?
I know because he's got a medical exemption from vaccines in the future, and they won't administer them to him. Okay. So medically diagnosed, he was, and the reason why I only brought it up is because and I've been unfortunately.
Steve, the show is ending. Thank you for the call, Steve. Folks, America's heroes need your help. Donate $11 a month to the Tunnel to Towers Foundation at T2T.org. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Mondays through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.